And we are live. Welcome back to Takes by Fans. We have a great show for you guys today. We are live every single day, and if you want to watch live, head over to twitch.tv/Takes by Fans. We are live every single day at noon Eastern. If you want to watch but not live, no worries there. Head over to our YouTube channel. We post all of our episodes and clips of the show on there, and it's Takes by Fans. Really easy to look up. And then we are also on podcasting apps if you want to only listen. We're on Spotify, Google Podcasts, very close to iHeartRadio and Apple Podcasts, folks. So whether you want to watch or listen, we've got you covered multiple ways. We're here every single day, and we are Takes by Fans. So today is Sunday. We are 59 minutes away from kickoff, so we got to kind of get out our final predictions, final thoughts on Week 14, last second best bets, just kind of last second news, who's in, who's out. So that's what we do on Sundays, folks. Right up until kickoff, we'll be here for the next 58 minutes, getting you guys ready for an entire good day of football. I cannot wait. Dolphins, Chiefs on TV, prime time. It's not even a prime time game. It's just nationally televised. It's going to be a great one. Cannot wait for it. A lot of good games this week, honestly. So without further ado, let's get into it. We have a couple of stories to get into, so let's do these real quickly. Buccaneers are going to be without Leonard Fournette this week, or today. Don't think it's going to hurt them too much. They have a lot of weapons coming off of a bye. We still like Buccaneers, and we still like them minus the 6.5, which we've got them locked in at. Alrighty, no COVID positive tests came back today, so everything is all good. The games will be played as scheduled today, so that's fantastic. But 3 players were listed on the COVID-19 list yesterday. So here are these players. Dolphins running back Myles Gaskin. That's going to be huge for the Dolphins offense today without our star running back Myles Gaskin. So that is a big shot. Lions defensive end Everson Griffin also has COVID-19, and Rams offense or outside linebacker Jachi Polite. So all 3 of those players have COVID. They're not playing today. They probably also won't play next week as well because they kind of need that 14 days to kind of get over it. So not looking good for these 3 players for the next 2 weeks. All right, and these are the players officially out. Let's go through them. DJ Moore for Carolina, bad there. That's going to definitely hurt their offense. We got A.J. Boye, Bryce Callahan, David Johnson, Myles Gaskin, Salvin Ahmed, Matt Breida. All 3 of those are Dolphins running backs, so not looking good there. Alexander Madison, Eric Kendricks, Kenny Galladay. Once again, not looking good for the Lions. Jeff Okudah, Jace Sternberger, Denzel Mims, Julio Jones, Antonio Gibson, Joe Hayden, and Robert Spillane. A lot of big names here, a lot of key pieces for some teams here. Dolphins, Panthers, Lions, Falcons, and Washington and Steelers. So a lot of teams being affected this week with big names being out. All right, more people being out. Wide receiver Brandon Cooks for the Texans. Now, we still like the Texans here this week because we liked what Kiki Cutie did last week. I mean, stepped up when he needed to, and I think he can step up again today. So, yes, the Texans are going to be down another wide receiver, but they've got some great backups. So, we still like the Texans this week. All right, running back for the Raiders, Josh Jacobs. He's back this week, folks, and that's huge. We've locked in Raiders +3. We're going to see how the line has changed now knowing that he's officially confirmed to play this week. It will definitely be interesting to see what that line is. When we looked Thursday, it was Raiders +3. We've got it locked in at Raiders +3, but we'll see how it's changed now that Josh Jacobs is starting. All right, Chiefs safety Tyrann Mathieu. He is expected to play today. He was questionable whether he's going to play or not, and this is once again huge for the Chiefs, bad for the Dolphins. This man's probably my favorite defensive player in the whole NFL, folks. I love what Tyrann Mathieu does. My favorite defensive player. He's just a ball hawk. He's all over the field. He reads coverages, or he reads plays to a T, folks, and you really have to watch out for this man. A huge piece for the Chiefs defense. He's still playing today against Miami. All right, then Lions running back DeAndre Swift. He's back this week as well. No Kenny Galladay, but they get their running back, and that's something that will definitely help them out a little bit. So DeAndre Swift is a go today against the Packers. Cowboys running back Ezekiel Elliott. Remember, he had that hamstring injury or something like that, and then, that quote in the middle of the week where he's like, you know what, I'm going to power through and play. Well, he's playing. Whether he plays or not, it doesn't matter. They're going to lose, or they'll probably win because they're facing Cincinnati, but they're they're not going to look good doing it. Ezekiel Elliott just wants to play this game because this is an expected win for the Cowboys finally. I mean, they haven't been expected to win in like the last probably 4 or 5 weeks. Maybe Thanksgiving they probably should have won against Washington, but we just saw what Washington did to the Steelers, so maybe Washington is a little bit better than we thought. So this Cowboys team, whether Zeke plays or not, really is not going to make it. What is he going to rush for 80 yards and no touchdowns? Congratulations, you still lose the game. The only way that the Cowboys can win a game if Zeke goes for like 130 yards and a touchdown or two without fumbling the ball, which he has not proven he can do this season. So Cowboys, I think I would be a little bit more confident in this week's win if Zeke wasn't playing, honestly. So not looking good for the Cowboys here. Alrighty, Cardinals are expected to start both running back Kenyon Drake, which is great. He's a fantastic running back, and DeAndre Hopkins, so that's big for the Cardinals too. That's all they go to. That's their only source of points is DeAndre Hopkins. So with him playing this week, should help out the Cardinals, but still the Cardinals, that's why they're 6-6. They have to find other players that can score the ball consistently besides DeAndre Hopkins. So, the Giants this week, I think I like them a little bit. Alrighty, and then here we go. So that's all kind of the inactives, actives, who's in, who's out. We've got 3 stories here just to touch base on, and then we'll get into these updated lines and go through these games and talk about them right up until kickoff. So Saints will not rush back Drew Brees despite next week's showdown against the Chiefs. So, this is perfect. This is what kind of we've been saying. Do not rush Drew Brees back. You want this man healthy for the playoffs. This is probably his last or second to last playoff run, honestly, because he could retire any season now. So get this man 100% ready to go. Taysom Hill can handle the offense fine. Honestly, I think a little bit better than Drew Brees can, like this season. Obviously, Drew Brees in totality of his career is better than Taysom Hill, but right now, I like what Taysom Hill's doing, folks, and it's not just the legs, it's the arm. He has the arm to back up the legs, to make the legs work as good as they do, because you still have to respect the arm. So they're not going to start Drew Brees most likely next week, which is absolutely fantastic. I would have Taysom Hill really kind of close out kind of this back half of the season. Maybe not week 16 or 17. Give Drew Brees like 2 games of real game tempo scenario to get him ready for the playoffs. I don't know if I start Drew Brees kind of cold in the playoffs. So probably start, let this man rest week 14, 15. Start this man week 16, maybe week 17 if he wants that kind of extra, just a little extra reps of game time kind of situations. And then he'll be good to go for the playoffs. So I love what they're doing here with New Orleans, not rushing Drew Brees back. I think it's the perfect decision, folks. Okay, here we go. Tom Brady, Bruce Arians, they planned a golf outing during their bye week. NFL stepped in and nixed it, but the idea of this is kind of making me like the Bucs this week. I already like the Bucs this week, but here, Tom Brady, extending that olive branch. There's an elephant in the room here between Bruce Arians and Tom Brady, and they were trying to squash it during their bye week by going to a golf trip and, talking it out. All right, here's what I think we should be doing. Bruce Arians can express his opinions. Tom Brady can be like, hang on, this is what we do in New England. And I know, we're not New England here in Arizona. I understand that, but, this is kind of what worked. Maybe we can do something like that. And Bruce Arians can be like, you know what? Yeah, we can do something like that. So I think this is a huge step here. They're not, being divas, and Tom Brady's not, silencing, and Bruce Arians isn't silencing. I mean, Tom Brady can be like, you know what? I've been successful for 20 years. If you don't want to, change the scheme, then I guess we lose. But I don't need to prove anything here really in Tampa Bay. You do, because you've got the greatest quarterback of all time on your roster. So if you don't win a Super Bowl, it's going to look bad on you, not me. I've got the ring. So I love that, they're trying to mend this gap, bridge it. I love it. I love it. I love it. Love the Bucs even more than I did going into today. So Bucs -6.5. I think that's what the line is. We'll see if it's still that, but I think this is a huge story. Even though they didn't do the golf outing, the fact that they were both willing to do the golf outing, I think that speaks volumes, and that's all you really need. And I'm sure they got together, a couple of times during their bye week to really just kind of solidify kind of their bond, their relationship, and what they want to do going forward, because playoffs are coming, folks. We're 4 weeks out from wild card weekend. So Tom Brady, extending this olive branch to Bruce Arians. Let's get this figured out. We've got probably 2-3 years together. Let's make the most of it. Let's win a ring. Let's be champions, baby. That's what champions do, folks. They squash the beef. They do not let that elephant sit in your room 24/7. They squash that elephant. They kick that man out. So love it, love it, love it. Alrighty, and then our final story is our Twitter page. No, what do we got? Oh, here it is. Here it is. All right. Cowboys coach Mike McCarthy is considered safe, but changes could be on the way. Not good. This man needs to be fired. This man needs to be fired. The Cowboys will not win another division champion unless this man is fired. He's not a good fit here. Dak Prescott's nowhere near the level that Aaron Rodgers is, where you really don't have to kind of keep coaching this quarterback on a consistent basis. You have to keep coaching Dak. He still needs to be coached. Aaron Rodgers, you can let him go. You can let him be. You can talk to him on Monday, talk to him on Friday. Be like, hey, anything? You're all good? Or he's all good for Sunday. All right. That's the conversations that Mike McCarthy would have with Aaron Rodgers. But you can't do that with Dak Prescott. He still needs learning. He's still early in his career. He still needs that mentorship. Mike McCarthy, I don't think is a great mentor, but he's what they've got so far. So Cowboys, I don't like this decision that he's considered safe. Other coaching changes could be on the way. I don't know what those could be. This man needs to go. I think he's the root of all problems. What was the big change last season to this season? You change your head coach. I understand that Dak Prescott's injured and all that, but you have talent around him. The offense should still be working at like 80% capacity. I mean, folks, you still have all your wide receiver weapons. You have a career starting quarterback, a career franchise quarterback still on your roster, and you have a $90 million running back that you paid over your quarterback. So there's no excuses of why this offense should be sputtering as bad as it has been, besides Mike McCarthy being the head coach and getting rid of Jason Garrett. Jason Garrett's having success his first year without Saquon Barkley. He's not making excuses. He's winning the division, where the Cowboys are making excuses. Oh, it's not Mike McCarthy. It's this. Oh, it's the injury. It's this. It's Mike McCarthy. It's Jerry Jones. That's the root of all evil here in Dallas. So, I think this is a mistake. You have to fire this man. Admit you made a bad decision. Try to move on, but to poison this franchise for another 4 or 5 years because of a bad decision at the top. Come on, man. Let's all admit when we're wrong. Who cares? Nobody's right 100% of the time. So just be wrong. Admit when you're wrong. We do it here. Our picks last week, we went 3 of 3. Not the greatest. We're going to definitely make it up today. Don't worry about that. But we all make mistakes, and we're all wrong at some point. So Jerry Jones, admit that you made a wrong decision. Mike McCarthy cannot coach, and he should not be the head coach of the Cowboys. That's simple. I can turn the franchise around. Hire me, Jerry. I'll turn that franchise around. All right, that's all the stories that we really had to get out of the way right before we talk about everything else. So, without further, you know what? Actually, before we get into the updated lines, let's see what our official picks are. Remind everybody, if you ever have any questions of what our takes are going to be on the games, go to our official website, takesbyfans.com. Go up to the daily picks category, click on the date of the games, and here they are, folks. Here it is, 12/13. Today's 12/13, December 13th. Here we go. Our 3 locks are Raiders +3, Steelers +2, and Saints -7. And in our 99% guarantee section, we've got Bucks -6.5, Texans -1, and Washington +3.5. So let's update these lines. Let's see if any lines have jumped a lot. Let's see if we're still liking, what our lines are. Did we kind of, lock in a little too early? Did we lock in a little too late? So let's see what we've got here. Let's get these lines up to date, and then we'll go through every single matchup, give our final thoughts, best bets, last opinions going into Week 14, because we're 45 minutes out, folks, from kickoff. So here we go, Dolphins and Chiefs, and this one started, I think, at Dolphins +7, it's 7.5, and it's still at Dolphins +7.5, and I still like it a little bit, maybe not too much, because Kyle Van Noy's out on the defensive side of the ball. He's kind of our defensive captain. He's the one calling all the plays defensively for the Dolphins, so that's going to be huge with him out. Myles Gaskin's out, Salvin Ahmed's out, Matt Breida is out, so we're kind of a little limited in running back as well. But, yeah, we definitely need – I mean, the Dolphins' defense is going to be what wins or loses this game. Our offense is probably going to put up 20 points. I'm believing in Tua this game, but we cannot let Patrick Mahomes run wild on us and score 30 points. The Dolphins won't score 30 points, I can guarantee it. They probably will struggle to score 28 points. I have the Dolphins at like 24. So if you take the 7.5, you would probably expect the Dolphins to put up like 24 points, and if the Chiefs score over 30, you're not going to hit it. So this Dolphins defense is the key of winning this game. High caliber game here. Chiefs, Dolphins, two of the top teams in the league. Chiefs are obviously the number one, but Dolphins, I would put, they're in the top 10. They're competing. They're in the playoff hunt. So huge game for the Dolphins to kind of keep pace in that wild card hunt. Big game for the Chiefs to try and get that number one seed. Chiefs on the road, Dolphins at home. Dolphins struggle offense. Obviously, I think the Chiefs win here. I think the Dolphins defense can be very competitive. I think I like the 7.5, folks. Now, let's see what we get. My favorite prop bets to do are points by a team in the first half. Great hit rate. I'm knocking about 75% on these. Let's see if there's anything we like on these between these two teams. We've got the Dolphins over 10.5 and the Chiefs over 14.5. Now, folks, never take anything over 13.5 because now you're talking about 3 scores. Over 13.5, you have to guarantee 2 touchdowns. So we don't take anything over 13.5, so we're not even taking Chiefs over 14.5. Dolphins over 10.5 is decent. It's decent. I don't know how well Tua is going to do in the first half. Last week, it really took him until the second half, the third quarter, to really get going offensively. So I think I stay away from both of these. Not ready to trust Tua's offense just quite yet. I think it's good, and I think it can be serviceable, but I'm not ready to kind of put that take out there quite yet. Gotta see him do it. Gotta see him do it in game before we kind of start betting and counting on it to really hit every single week. So we're not ready to take the Dolphins over 10.5, but I do like the Dolphins plus 7.5 overall because I think the defense of the Dolphins keeps the Chiefs in check. I mean, we've seen this Chiefs team struggle on the road a couple of times. Denver, they lost, or Denver, the game was close. No, hang on. The Chargers. Remember when they faced the Chargers, like real early, like week 4 or 5. They didn't get going into the third or into the fourth quarter. Very late, like 5 minutes left. That's when they really kicked it into high gear, and they were able to force overtime. But it took that offense late to score. Then what happened when they faced the Raiders the first time? They lose at home. They get outscored. So we've seen this Chiefs team take some time to score. Sometimes the offense sputters, sometimes early in the first half. So we think that's going to happen this week. The Dolphins defense steps up, and I think we support Dolphins plus 7.5. It's going to be a great game. I cannot wait to watch it. Alrighty, here we go. Titans and Jags, and Mike Glennon, how well is he going to do this week? And we see this line climbing a little bit. Started at, when we looked on Thursday, at Titans -7. It's jumped a full point to Titans -8. So, Jaguars here. I don't know, man. Mike Glennon, not a winner, turning the ball over in overtime last week. He got them to overtime, which is good, but you lose in overtime, which is bad overall. A good and a bad losing you the game. The performance overall is bad. It's unfortunate, but that's how it works. Winning matters, folks. Winning, all I really care about is wins. Can you win? Are you winning? You're not? Well, we're not buying you then. So Jaguars are struggling winning. Now the Titans, you would expect them to really bounce back after a poor performance, but remember what happened when they faced the Steelers. The Steelers game and the Browns game that the Titans faced last week are very similar. They got blown out in the first half. Second half, they start to come back, but overall they lose, making it look a lot closer than what it actually was. Now, the week after the Steelers game where the Titans did it, they lost again. You would think they would have stepped up, but they didn't. So you would expect the Titans to step up, but the last time that the scenario kind of played out exactly how it is, the Titans lost the next game. So maybe you like the Jaguars +8 here. We're going to advise to stay away from this game because Mike Glennon in this Jacksonville offense, I mean, they don't dink and dunk, folks. They sling the ball from start to finish. They do not care. They're going to live and die by throwing the ball deep 10, 15 yards every single pass play. They rarely dink and dunk, folks. So that gives promise to the Jags +8 because they have more opportunities to score more quickly than other teams. Not long drives going down the field, short 6, 7, maybe even 9 play drives, not 10, 11, 12 play drives. So I'm going to stay away from this one. I like this Titans team, I really do, but 8 points, they really don't blow out any teams. We see them struggle scoring in the first halves a lot, folks. That's the one knock on this Titans team. It takes them a long time. Well, some games it takes them a while to get into scoring rhythm. So, and if the running game isn't going, isn't working in the first quarter, that's also going to delay the offense because they need to set up that run for everything else to work. So I'm going to advise to stay away from this Tennessee Titans-Jags game. We all know the Titans are better than the Jags. That's without question, but the 8 points here is definitely scaring me off. We took the Jags plus 10 last week. We loved it. Plus 8 here. A very, very small kind of 2 possession with the 8. We're going to advise to stay away from it because Mike Glennon can sling it. Now, in the end, he'll turn it over and they'll lose, so we like the Titans straight up. But the 8, don't know if the Titans are ready to cover 8 points yet, even against a kind of lackluster Jags team. All right, let's see what we get here by points by a team in the first half. For the Jaguars, it's over 10.5. Once again, I do not like that. I like Mike Glennon. I don't trust him. And, 10 points here. If it was 9.5, I would say go for it, touchdown, field goal. But now we're looking at 10.5, multiple touchdowns or multiple scoring possessions. I'm not too big on it. And then Titans over 15.5. That's over 13.5. We don't take it. So, once again, I don't think we're getting anything good here. No good value here in this Titans-Jags team. You will be looking for these 8 points literally throughout the entire game. It's going to be a tight squeeze, I think. Alrighty, Vikings and Bucks. Okay, so they have officially bumped it to the 7-point hook. That's why you have to watch daily, folks. Thursday, we locked it in at Tampa Bay minus 6.5 under that 7 hook. We're not losing any value. We actually bought in some good value here. So when you see something good, gotta swallow it up real quick before you start losing value, start losing money. Never any good. So Vikings, they're gonna be without their tight end, I believe. Their tight end? Yes. Adam Thielen's playing. Their tight end is not playing, so that's a knock right there. This Bucks running defense is good. Their passing defense is atrocious. So if they can stop Delvin Cook, that also helps the Bucks defense with the pass game because then Kirk Cousins has to start passing it a lot more, and we know when that happens, he starts to turn the ball over. So if they can't rely on the running game, Kirk Cousins is going to have to do it all himself, and that's exactly what happened in the first 6-7 games of the season before the bye for the Vikings, and that's why they were a trash team. Because they were relying on Kirk Cousins to do too much and not Delvin Cook. So after the bye, they switch to the run-heavy attack, and that's when they've started been winning games. But this Bucks defense is good. Stop running the ball, folks. That's what they do the best. They've got some beef up on that front line. Jason Pierre-Paul and Ndamukong Suh. You're running against that? Two definite kind of surefire Hall of Famers on the defensive line. Not looking good. So if the Vikings can't get the run game, this is going to be a Bucks win by 100 points. And the Bucks are coming off of a bye, and they're coming off of a bye, which they were going into the bye on a loss. So, I mean, that's so much fuel for Tom Brady. He's at home, ready to make kind of this final playoff push. And remember when we looked at the playoff machine on Friday, if the Vikings win, that they can move up to the 6th seed. If they lose, they drop down to the 7th seed. And they also have the ability to be knocked out completely of the playoffs if they lose as well. If they lose, and who is it that wins? Washington. If Washington wins as well, then the Vikings are going to get knocked out of that playoff spot. So with playoff urgency, you would expect Minnesota to kind of perform very well, but this Bucks team, they're coming off of a loss, off of a bye. Tom Brady's ready to light it up, folks. Him and Bruce Arians kind of, made amends during the bye week. Everything is trending in the direction of Bucks. Will swallow the 7. Cannot trust this Vikings team with Kirk Cousins doing the majority of the work, folks. We just can't trust it. All right, what do we got here with points by these teams in the first half? Any good value? We've got Vikings over 10.5 and Bucks over 14.5. I may like Vikings over 10.5, but I don't think this team is. I mean, they scored decently in the first half these couple of last weeks, and then everything kind of falls apart in the second half. So maybe the over 10.5 here is good. I mean, folks, Vegas doesn't even like it. See this? I mean, when you start when you really want to investigate some picks and whether a line is good or not and who Vegas is really favoring even with the lines, go into the player props, go into the team props, go into the game lines, and kind of just see how they figure this game's going to go. Even go by quarters, folks. I mean, this gives you a real in-depth analysis of how kind of Vegas is predicting this game to go. Look at what the money line is for the first quarter. Look what it is, what the spread is. I mean, the spread in the first quarter is Vikings plus 1.5, so you can kind of, see how Vegas anticipates the scoring to go, even at the halves. Halves gives you a little bit of a better picture as well. What do we got here? The spread is, minus 4.5, and the over is 26.5. So you can start piecing some, numbers around. They think it's going to be 26.5 points total combined in the first half. So you start subtracting some points here. So you're like, all right, 26 points. We'll round it up to 27. Or no, let's do 26 because it's an even number. So you get 26 points in the first half. So there you would expect the Vikings to put up 13 and the Bucks to put up 13. Now you look at the first half spread. Okay, Vikings plus 4. So you take 4 points away from the Vikings and add it to the Bucks. So what Vegas is thinking is that they're predicting that this game at halftime is most likely, in all the simulations they've ran and all the numbers they gathered, is going to be Bucks 17 and Vikings 9. That's kind of how they predict. That's where they're getting to this kind of 26-point total. You factor in the spread and the halves. That's what you get. So Vegas doesn't even like, Vikings over 10.5. They expect them at 9, and they expect Tom Brady and the Bucks to put up, 17? So you subtract the 4 to the 13 if you can follow the math, if you've been following. That's how kind of we arrived at those numbers. So Vikings over 10.5. Not loving it, not really loving it, and Vikings over 14.5. I don't take anything over 13.5, so I'm not advising y'all to do that either. So once again, I think we stay away from it. I think the Vikings, they're not going to get the run game going, and their offense is going to sputter because of it. Alrighty, here we go. Cardinals and Giants. Once again, the Giants are getting 3. I love this line, folks. Has this gone up? Was this Giants plus 2 when we looked on Thursday, and it's gone up to Giants plus 3? Because DeAndre Hopkins is playing and Kenyon Drake is playing. I love this. I really do. Giants plus 3. Has it been confirmed that Daniel Jones is playing? I think we're all assuming he is, but has anything really came out solid and said he is? I think he is. I'm about 100% certain he's playing this week. Today, 30 minutes from now, he should be playing. So, yeah. I mean, this offense with the Giants, I love it. I love what Jason Garrett is doing. Daniel Jones is playing fantastic early in the season. He was a little iffy, turning the ball over, but Jason Garrett's got that cleaned up. He's calling run-pass options, using Daniel Jones' strength to help this Giants team score, working to the pros of a player, folks. I mean, that's coaching 101. Use what your players can do. Do not try to fit players into a scheme. That never works, a la why Adam Gase can never win more than one game a season, right? So, really, really love the Giants here, and we're getting 3 points. This isn't in our official picks, is it? No, we didn't take this game. So we are definitely going to endorse this one. This is a live stream game day bet, folks. If you're watching this live, you can get this in. It's a 1 o'clock tip-off or 1 o'clock kickoff. So half hour from now, we love the Giants plus 3. I would hammer this, folks. I would truly hammer this. Minus 112. You're basically just doubling your money. 500 wins you 950. You profit 450. I love it, folks. I love the Giants, and we're getting points. Home team getting points. Giants trying to close out this division win now that Washington is kind of creeping in and trying to steal it from them. And this Cardinals team, folks, I mean, they were good in the first half of the season. Nobody's doubting that, but they've kind of gotten stale. Their offense has gotten stale. They've kind of gotten figured out a little bit. I mean, what are they? Are they 1-5 in their last 6-7 games, folks? I don't think this team is winning a lot recently. So, Giants here, they're trending up. Cardinals are trending down. The Cardinals, everybody's figuring them out because all they go to is DeAndre Hopkins to score. They need to find other ways to score points, and they haven't been doing that yet. So, Yes, DeAndre Hopkins is good, but when you go to him, 17 times a game, defenses are going to start figuring that out pretty quickly and shutting him down. The Giants just shut down that kind of good Seahawks offense, so that's well done. Kind of a precursor of what they're getting here with Arizona. They didn't let Russell Wilson run all over them. Why are they going to let Kyler Murray do it? The Patriots stopped Kyler Murray running from all over them. This Giants team, I'm sure they're taking notes out of that playbook of what Bill Belichick did with the Giants, or with the Patriots. So love the Giants here. And nobody's doubting that this Cardinals team is talented, but they've been losing games, and they just haven't been putting up a lot of points either in those games. So they're getting kind of figured out offensively. We're not buying it anymore. Alrighty, here we go. Points by a team in the first half. Giants at over 10.5. Now, I kind of like this. Giants at home, expect him to kind of drive the ball. Daniel Jones has been out for 2 weeks, so expect him to kind of be a little bit eager to get going himself. Maybe some quick hitters to start this game. 10.5, touchdown, 2 field goals, we'll take that. 2 touchdowns, we'll take that. Maybe a turnover by Kyler Murray, and you get good odds because Vegas doesn't like it either. But hey, this is the home team we're talking about. I think we'll take this one. I think we'll endorse this one as well as a kind of live stream game day pick. We love this one. Giants over 10.5. I'll take this, folks. I trust Daniel Jones and I trust Jason Garrett with this offense. Cardinals, I mean, they've been struggling these past couple weeks scoring the ball. Maybe a turnover too. So, love it, love it, love it. I'll take this one. We'll take this one. Giants over 10.5 in the first half. Cardinals over 12.5. Yes, their offense is explosive, but I liked what the Giants defense did last week. Now, I don't think they're going to be able to kind of replicate that 100% because, I mean, I wouldn't expect even a top-tier defense to hold the Seahawks at 10 points at home. So, I think the Giants do give up more points than they did last week, but I still think they come out with the win here. Love the Giants. Love the Giants +3. Love the Giants over 10.5 points in the first half, folks. This is not a trash Giants team. This is a rising, now division leader Giants team, and they're looking to kind of close out this season. They've been getting better every single week, folks. Truly, they have. You cannot kind of take what you saw in the first, 6-8 weeks of the season and apply it to the back last 8 weeks of the season, folks. You cannot do that. It does not line up. Teams go through changes. You should be really looking at, games kind of on a 4-week period because teams, they do break up the season into kind of 4 different kind of 4-game segments. The first quarter, second quarter, third quarter, fourth quarter of the season. Teams buy into that. Coaches, kind of use that as props, folks. They do. So this is a good Giants team going into the fourth quarter of the season. Love the Giants +3 here. All right, where are we? Gonna have to speed this up a little bit. We are, 27 minutes away from kickoff, and we have a lot more games to go to. So let's try to speed these last games up a little bit. Texans, Bears, nothing's gonna come of this game. Both these teams are not that good, and both these teams will still not be that good after this game is played. So winner of this game really doesn't matter, and we see this line just slowly coming to a pick'em, folks. Truly a pick'em. What was this at on Thursday? I'm trying to think. We locked this in at Texans -1, so it's dropped a little bit. I'm not trusting Mitch Trubisky. I think this is a week where the Bears defense absolutely 100% quits on them. Now, it looked like that the defense 100% quit on this team against the Packers game, but I think this is the game where everybody we don't care anymore. Khalil Mack is, he's a little banged up, but he's still ready to go. If Mitch Trubisky is still not putting up points in the first quarter, expect Khalil Mack just to kind of mentally check out of the game. Now, we know that this Texans team is kind of losing all their starting wide receivers very quickly, but I love how well that these backup receivers are kind of embracing this, next man up mentality. Love it, love it, love it. And the Texans, Deshaun Watson just fumbled away a surefire win last week, so expect him to kind of come out and play fiery, where Mitch Trubisky, he just turned over, the game-winning ball on a fumble, and I would not see him having any kind of fire lit under him to kind of go and overcome that mistake that he made last week to overcome and kind of win this game. So still like the Texans this week, even with all their wide receivers out. I think Kiki QT, and who's their other one? Who's their other wide receiver? It's Kiki QT, and who was the other one that stepped up we were impressed with? Let me find this game real quick, folks. What are we looking for? Texans, who they face? Texans versus... Can't even remember who they faced last week. All right, let's try to find this one quickly. I guess we'll just go to the scores since can't find it quickly. Unfortunate. The name's on the tip of my tongue. I want to say Chad something. Chad something. Kiki Cutie and Chad, maybe last name starts with an H. Is that right? All right, here we go. They were the top two leading wide receivers for the Texans last week. It is Kiki Cutie and Chad Hansen. So we were right on the money. So love what they did. I mean, both those receivers had 100 yards receiving. I mean, that's not by accident, folks. These are solid backup receivers. So we've got no problems with this Texans offense still playing, very well this week. With this Bears offense, they can never play well. Even when they put up 30 like they did last week, they still lose because Mitch Trubisky is so trash. And it's unfortunate to say, but that's what he is. When you fumble the game-winning or the game-sealing drive, you're up 10 with 4 minutes left, and you fumble. I mean, oh my goodness. Don't get me started again. So we still like the Texans here. Let's see what we get in the first half. We could get something good with this Texans team in the first half. Let's see what we get. Bears over 10.5. Texans, yes, Texans over 10.5. Love it, love it, love it, folks. I mean, they've got no problem scoring the ball. Deshaun Watson is going to want to fire and sling this ball all around this Bears defense. I'm telling you all, they're going to give up. They're going to let the Houstons run absolutely wild. And just think in the second half of this game, let's stop talking about, I do like this, the Texans over 10.5, but this is going to only apply for the Texans, minus half a point for the entire game. Even if, this game is competitive in the first half, Deshaun Watson in the second half, maybe still running wild on them, exhausting the defense. They can't get pressure on him. They can't actually bring him down for sacks. They're just kind of chasing him around. I mean, if this Bears offense isn't really putting up points, you think Khalil Mack is going to be wanting to still kind of chase around Deshaun Watson when their offense cannot move the ball at all? And this is the second time they went 3 and out and Khalil Mack got no rest, and now he has to go and chase Deshaun Watson around in the third quarter at a tie game and try to keep him in front of him. It's going to break down, folks, like it did last season. This Bears team broke down. It's going to break down, I think, this week, folks. Love the Texans here. Hammer the Texans, folks. I'm telling y'all, this Texans team, they're not great because of the record, but this Bears team is so pitiful offensively. We'll take whatever. Truly, we would take. I think I would take Jets over the Bears. If they faced Jets at Bears, I think I take Jets, folks. I think I do. So, love the Texans here. All right, let's move on. Here we go. Cowboys, Bengals. This one still, I think it started at 3.5. Cowboys minus 3.5, and now it's at Cowboys minus 3. I still do not trust this Cowboys team, even though, Zeke was trying to get his team pumped and try to be this, vocal leader. Hey, I'm playing through an injury, folks. Let's, ride on me, and I'll take us, to a win. But he'll fumble. He'll fumble this game. Whenever he talks, he fumbles the ball in big-time situations. It happened. When was the last time it happened? When was the last time he fumbled when they were trying to come back in the third quarter? Don't think it was Thanksgiving Day. It may have been Thanksgiving Day. I think it was. Zeke kind of comes out in the middle of the week and, is kind of guaranteeing a win. It says, he's going to, protect the ball better, and then he goes and fumbles in the third quarter to try to come back in the game. I mean, you cannot trust what everybody on this Dallas team is a straight up lie or whatever they say. Nobody believes in their own team. Nobody trusts the coaches. Nobody trusts the star players on the squad. This Dallas team is truly a dumpster fire, and I stay away from it. Not touching this game. The Bengals put up 7 points last week, and the Dolphins defense is good. That's probably why they only put up 7 points, but still can't trust this Bengals offense. I mean, they weren't even really putting up that many points with Joe Burrow at the helm. The only time they would put up 30 points is when Joe Burrow was throwing the ball 55 times a game. That's not sustainable, folks. So the Bengals, they weren't even scoring with, their number one quarterback. They're very struggling to score with their second string quarterback. This Dallas offense is so atrocious. Their defense is getting better. I'll say that. They're not allowing, 35 plus points a game. I stay heavy away from this one. Let's see if we get any good value here with the points by team in the first half. Bengals at 9.5, Cowboys at 10.5, and I really think I like this Bengals over 9.5. Last week they scored 7 points in the first quarter. Fantastic against a good Dolphins defense on the road. So giving promise here to Bengals, at home, over 9.5, touchdown field goals locked up, 2 possessions, This is fantastic. This is really what you want. 9.5, I absolutely love them because of the touchdown field goal. Now, when we're talking about 10.5, touchdown field goal, now you're looking at a third possession or 2 touchdowns. That's going to be a little tough to ask for a Bengals team, but touchdown field goal, I definitely think they can do it. Expect the Cowboys to have at least 1 turnover in the first half. Zeke's talking, so he'll probably fumble. It's just when. It's a matter of just when. First, second, third, or fourth quarter. He'll do them in all of them, folks. So I think I like the Bengals here. They get the kickoff, they receive the kickoff, they go down, score a touchdown on their first drive, and then, at the end of half, they take 50 seconds, move 20 yards, get over midfield, kick the field goal, 10 points, first half. Love it, love it, love it. Even though the Bengals do struggle offensively, this Cowboys team, offensively, they'll turn it over. Their defense is decent. It has been shoring up, but still, you can't trust them. It's Mike McCarthy, folks. So I think we'll also endorse this one. Bengals over 9.5 points in the first half. Alrighty, let's move on to the next matchup. What do we got here? Broncos, Panthers. Panthers, Christian McCaffrey's not going, but they kind of knew that. DJ Moore is not going as well. So how is Teddy Bridgewater and Matt Rule going to kind of scheme this offense now that their kind of number one option, DJ Moore, is out? Now they still have Robbie Anderson, but who's going to kind of be that new number 2 wide receiver? Going to have to be figured out. This Broncos defense, they're pretty good. They're not as good as they are at home defensively, but they are still decent on the road defensively. Don't like Drew Lock. I do like Drew Lock. Like him okay. Don't like him on the road. I mean, remember that kind of 3-game stretch where, like, the Raiders, he threw like 4 interceptions in the fourth quarter. Wasn't scoring kind of in that 3-game stretch until the fourth quarter as well. So can't trust this Broncos team offensively, where this Panthers team we absolutely can. Now, where it gets tricky is the spread. I really don't trust the Panthers even with 4.5 points. And this team consistently moves the ball. Like, they will go on drives. So I think we're going to like this Broncos plus 4.5 here. We get more than 3. I'll take that. Drew Lock can keep games close if he doesn't turn the ball over. He's had some good games these last 2-3 weeks, keeping games closer, actually close. He just has to go out and make, better reads, better throws, and, put up more points than what they've been doing. So I think I like the Broncos plus 4.5 here, folks. Can't remember what this line was on Thursday, but it's looking a lot better right now, I'll tell you. Panthers, no DJ Moore. Teddy Bridgewater is still good, but I think they're going to kind of struggle moving the ball a little bit here. Broncos plus 4.5. Drew Lock's got some swagger back, went toe-to-toe with Patrick Mahomes and did decently. I mean, they got the loss, but that's expected. But they played a lot better than I think most people expected him to do. So, I mean, Chiefs were 13.5-point favorites in that game, folks, and the Broncos lost by like 5. I think it was like 16-22. So, or what is that, 6? I mean, still, folks, it was close. So, I think we'll take the Broncos plus 4.5 here on the road. Yeah, I can see that happening all day. Yeah, I like it. I truly like this. All right, what do we got here for points by team in the first half? Broncos over 9.5. Drew Lock can sling the ball. This Panthers offense, they don't turn the ball over, so don't expect that. But yeah, 9.5. Drew Lock, touchdown field goal. He can manage that. Okay. I think these are the best bets, folks. Broncos over 9.5 points in the first half. Yes, I'm loving it. This is truly endorsed, folks. I would, if we could just bet online, I'd take this right now. I do it live on the show, but we can't do that here where I am at. Unfortunate. Broncos over 9.5, folks. I love that. Damn, I love that. Yeah. Is Jerry Jeudy playing? He's good to go, right? Let me see. Players out. Did we say Jerry Jeudy? We didn't say Jerry Jeudy. All right, then. I love it. Yes. Broncos over 9.5 points in the first half. That's a lock, folks. That's guaranteed. Okay, let's move on. Jets, Seahawks. We're not going to... Oh, my goodness. This one jumped more. Was this not Seahawks minus 13.5 on Thursday? Now it's Seahawks minus 16 points. Holy cow. Frank Gore is not playing for the Jets, I believe, so that's probably a factor. Them just being trash is a factor. Them firing their defensive coordinator this week is a factor. Them still having Adam Gase as a head coach is probably the biggest factor of all. Seahawks coming off of a bad loss. They're going to kind of want to redeem themselves, especially the offense. The offense put up 10 points last week. Absolutely atrocious. So expect the Seahawks to really blow out the Jets here. Stay away from it. These spreads, I don't really trust anybody swallowing 16 points, folks. I mean, truly, I don't. I don't like the Jets, and I'm not taking this game at all. I'm not endorsing anything because we're not trusting the Jets with 16 points against this Seahawks team who can absolutely. I mean, who's going to guard DK Metcalf? Can we just say that? Who the heck is going to guard DK Metcalf? Because nobody can. Nobody can. The best defenders in the league have trouble doing it. So love the Seahawks win, but I mean, we're getting no good value here, folks. No good value. Stay away from this one. Jets is over 7.5 points in the first half. Now that may be decent to take, and I'll tell you why. This Jets team scripted plays like the first drive, first 10 plays. They do pretty good, and they kind of usually score touchdowns on those drives, not settling for field goals. So, I mean, you get 7, points out the Jets' first drive. Now you're just looking for the bounce of the ball to go your way just one time for the remainder of the remainder of the quarter. I could take those odds. Last second, field goal. Now, I'll tell you, last week when they were in Miami, or 2 weeks ago when they were in Miami, and they tried a 32-yard field goal going into halftime that would have gave 10 points, and they missed it. So nothing's a sure thing, even with this Jets team. They're so trash. So Jets over 7.5. It'd be decent to take. I'm not endorsing it, but I could definitely see it happening. They do decent in their first kind of 10 plays, and then everything goes to hell when Adam Gase has to kind of think on the fly. He folds big time, folks. So, I mean, is that a sign? I mean, the Lions with Matt Patricia, they were good in their first series as well, scoring touchdowns on kind of their first drives, melting for the rest of the game. Adam Gase, Matt Patricia, I mean, not good coaches, folks, and they do the same thing. So that tells you everything you need to know, I think. Alrighty. Oh my God, 14 minutes away from kickoff. So we do definitely got to kick this into high gear. We're going a little slow here. So here we go. Colts, Raiders. Raiders plus 2.5. This value is coming down a little bit, so people are liking the Raiders plus 3. I absolutely love it, folks. This Colts team is a 5-win team. I don't want to hear it. Three wins should not have gone their way. Basically, the last 3 games: the Packers game, the Titans the first time, and the Texans last week. So I'm not buying into this Colts team. I don't trust Phillip Rivers. Y'all know how I feel about this man. The man's lazy. He's a bum. He doesn't win the big games. He shouldn't be a Hall of Fame quarterback. So I'm sorry, but I said what I said, and I'm sticking to it. Raiders here at home. John Gruden knows, this is playoff push time, baby. And I know the Colts are also in playoff push. I get all that. I don't think it's going to help them out at all. They're on the road here, and Phillip Rivers, he'll turn the ball over in the biggest situation. So Raiders off of an inflated win. Colts off an inflated win. 2 big egos going at it. I would trust Derek Carr to kind of stay calm under the situation, where Phillip Rivers, I think he gets a little antsy, a little bit lazy sometimes in drives, and he'll turn the ball over. Raiders here at home, looking for the playoff push. I mean, the Raiders are in the same exact position that they kind of were last season. Great start, horrible finish. I think they lost the last 6 games. John Gruden knows he can't do that again. He's trying to have starting as a head coach last year, kind of 1 year turnaround rebuild. Now we're in the playoffs the second year. That's great as a head coach if you can do that. Derek Carr is still a good quarterback. Just some unfortunate turnovers last week. That's what made the game a little bit closer than it was. And everyone's like, how can you like the Jets if the Jets almost just beat the Raiders? It theoretically kind of beat the Raiders. Last second Hail Mary. Do you count that? Yes, all of that. I understand it, but games are usually close, folks. No team rarely goes 0-16. That's why it's only happened once. The Lions. Teams don't do it. Teams win games. Teams beat teams that they probably shouldn't beat. It happens all the times, folks. So you can't just, last week this happened, so it's going to 100% happen this week. It doesn't work like that, folks. So still love the Raiders here. They're the home team looking for that playoff spot. I think I get the better quarterback. I think I get the better weapons. I will give the Colts the better defense, even though I don't like the Colts defense as much as everybody buys into the Colts defense. But we still like everything for the Raiders here. They may not win, but we get 3. We locked in 3 points. I'm taking the 3, folks. Raiders plus 2.5, plus 3, whatever you got locked in. I think they went outright. True and 2. 2 true, truly. Here we go. Packers, Detroit. I think Packers absolutely blow it out, and this line is rising. Holy cow. I think this one was Packers minus 7.5 on Thursday. It's climbed all the way to minus 9 because Kenny Galladay is not going. DeAndre Swift is still going, but it's Packers versus, the Lions. Lions without their head coach. All the interim coaches are winning their first game, losing their second game. I think it still goes the same here with the Lions. They really shouldn't have even won last game, but they did. So Packers, they're kind of in this kind of final playoff push. We talked about it when we did the playoff machine on Friday. They can, if they win and the Saints lose, they overcome that first seed in the NFC, folks, and that's definitely what they want to do. So Packers know, Aaron Rodgers know he has to kind of keep winning out to keep pace for first place in the NFC. -9. I don't think I love that. I truly don't love that. I think I stay away from this game. The spreads, I think the Packers win, but this 9 spread, a little too high for me, so I stay away from it. Saints, Eagles, Jalen Hurts first game. We just did our Saturday showcase on Jalen Hurts. We're not buying into him this week. Taysom Hill, folks. I want Taysom Hill as a starting quarterback for the Dolphins. Truthfully, folks, get rid of Tua. I take Taysom Hill. Yes. I love the Saints here. 7.5. We'll swallow those points. Here we go. Washington and 49ers. Washington, absolutely love them. We'll take the +3. This 49ers team is a little inflated. Did you just see their defense that they put out on primetime television? It was atrocious, folks. It made Josh Allen look like an MVP front runner, truthfully. No team is home here. This is not the 49ers at home. This is the 49ers in Arizona. Not a home field. They'll play like they're on the road. Washington, yes, they are coming off of a very, very inflated win. All their heads are probably going to be big, but Ron Rivera is going to bring them all down. This man, you really have to talk about coaching in the NFL, folks. There is a reason why the Washington was the only team to beat the Steelers so far this season, and we all know it's not what they have talent-wise on the field. It's the mind off the field, and when everybody buys into a head coach, folks, it doesn't matter who the heck is playing. Everybody steps up. Next man up. Why do you think the Texans are doing so well on their interim head coach? Because it's Romeo Cornell. A long-running defensive coordinator in this league. Players buy into this man. He can kind of keep a team under control. So coaching 100% matters. The 49ers, their defense is so atrocious. Richard Sherman's talking about leaving, not coming back next season. Nick Mullins, are we supposed to believe in him? This Washington defense is going to absolutely obliterate Nick Mullins. So the 49ers offense can't do anything. Now, I don't like the Washington offense either. I don't really like Alex Smith, and they really don't take too many deep shots. And Antonio Gibson, their starting running back, is not playing. I get all that, but I get a good Washington defense. We get 3 points. We get a good head coach here. This 49ers team, they're a little inflated after that kind of Rams win, and the inflation started last week with the Bills. After this week, they'll be 100% deflated, and the 49ers will never be favorites for the rest of the season, folks. This is not the 49ers at home. This is not the 49ers at home. Folks, look at where the money is. 49ers -3. That's the favorite. They're the favorites because they're minus points, but look at the odds. They're +100, and Washington is -121. So, yeah, folks, the public money is on Washington. The money is on Washington. We like Washington. We'll go Washington. Alrighty, Falcons, Chargers, and this one has stayed at, Chargers -1 here. So, the Chargers, they're going to be very upset of what happened last week. The offense put up no points. They got shut out 45-0. Atlanta, they're without Julio Jones, so that actually makes me like them even more. I know it's crazy to say, but when all their pieces are healthy offensively, the offense struggles. When it's just Calvin Ridley, Todd Gurley, it actually works very well. So, I think I like Atlanta here. This Chargers team, they can't win games. They'll score more than 0 points. I'll tell you that, but they can't close out games. We like Atlanta, and then the late game today. Oh my God, this is going to be must-see television, folks. You cannot miss this game. Still, Steelers at Bills, huge playoff implications. We're talking about the 1 seed. We're talking about the Bills trying to still get to that 1 seed as well. They've only got 3 losses. They can definitely make the push for that 1 seed, even though Steelers and Chiefs only have 1 loss. There's 4 weeks left, folks. Anything can happen. So it starts here with the Bills here tonight. I don't think they win. I think the Steelers team is a lot better. Everybody's writing them off. We're not writing them off here. They've been our number 1 team forever, and it wasn't just because they were undefeated. It's because this defense, when they are all good and healthy, it's one of the best defenses in the league. Now, the Steelers defense is a little banged up. I think who'd they lose to injury a couple weeks ago? I'm blanking, but they're also not having Joe Hayden. That's going to be huge for them, a shutdown corner. So they are going to be a little bit little bit, missing some key defensive players, but I think in the grand scheme of things, Minka Fitzpatrick and Mike Tomlin, they can kind of engineer this defense to, hold together. Big Ben and the Steelers, they had a bad offensive, outing last week. They lost. Mike Tomlin was holding everybody accountable all week long. We like the Steelers here. We'll take the 3. I mean, we got it locked in at 3. No, we got it locked in at 2, so not great. Little missed out value here, but we still like the Steelers here. They bounce back, and I think they get the win. No disrespect to Josh Allen, but a little inflated win, kind of like in that Seattle game, a little inflated win. The defense, I don't know what the hell they were doing. When the defense can't cover Stephon Diggs, Josh Allen has a field day. This Steelers defense will lock down Stephon Diggs, and I think Josh Allen tries to do a little too much here. Big time game. Big Ben has been in a million of them. Josh Allen, he's been in a couple of them, but hasn't been good in a couple of them. He hasn't been good his first 2 seasons. This season, he's playing well. I'll give the man credit, but he hasn't had any primetime games where he's supposed to be, the man, the favorites. He's usually coming in as the underdog. So love the Steelers here. We'll take the +2. We'll talk about Ravens Cleveland tomorrow, folks. We're running out of time. We are 5 minutes away from kickoffs. We've got to go. Y'all got to go. Get ready. Get set up. We've got a full day of football. 5 minutes should be good. We're going to be peace out. Hopefully we can make you some money this week. Come back tomorrow when we break everything down, where we were right, where we were wrong. We're going to be right about 100% that we just said here, folks, today. Feeling very confident. Ready to beat Vegas this week. We'll see you tomorrow. Noon Eastern. Takes by Fans, baby. Here we go. Big Sunday, Dolphins, Chiefs. Oh my goodness, cannot wait. And then we get Steelers, Bills at the late game. Folks, this may be the best week of football there is, and I cannot wait till tomorrow, folks. Already, I cannot wait till tomorrow. I'm not going to say that. I was going to say I was going to sleep all day just so I can get ready tomorrow, but folks, we got football to watch, folks. There is no sleeping today. We're out of here. Go to your couch, watch football all day, and just be a couch potato, because that's what we're going to be doing, and we'll be back tomorrow, folks. Noon Eastern. Cannot wait. Dolphins, Chiefs. Woo! Cannot wait.